Hello guys, welcome back to Marco Mondays. This is the fourth episode. This one's going to be a little bit different. Instead of doing the hood characters, we're going to do Kobe Bryant. We're going to celebrate his life and his legacy. And that's all we got to say. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Marco Mondays. This is episode 4. Normally I do hood character Mondays, but today we got to dedicate it to Kobe Bryant, the GOAT. You know what I mean? It's crazy. This is a special one, dedicated to one of my favorite players, one of the hearts of basketball, one of the faces of basketball. So, this is dedicated to him and his family, and anybody who loves Kobe. So here we starting out. It took me hours, man, just looking at photos of him was just tough. It took me hours to find a good photo to use, but I ended up coming across this vintage picture of him, Froby, when he had the fro, so I chose this photo, this image, is him just kind of leaning up against the wall with a ball, and that was the one that kind of stuck out to me. There were other ones that I could have used, but I just didn't have all the colors to do the vintage jackets and stuff like that, but excuse me. So right now I'm just detailing his face. I laid down the skeleton sketch under the sketch, like always. I'm using a reference with my iPad. You just can't really see. This like the 5-second rule. You want to look at the image that you're referencing and going back to the actual image that you're drawing. It should be a 5-second swivel with your eyes. You shouldn't really be focusing too much on the paper, because then you're starting to draw from imagination and not what's really there. You get me? So I'm here. I'm just laying down his features and preparing to finish the rest of the body. I'm using a 2B pencil right now. It's just lighter, it's easier to erase, and you don't have to press down too hard. You know what I mean? You want to make it easy on yourself to remove the pencil layer once you put down the inking layer before you put down the Copic marker layer, So as you can see, I'm starting to do just the arms. I think this is around the time he was probably about 4 years in the league by this time, maybe even 5 or 6. I'm not sure. If you know in the comments, you guys could let me know when he started to grow the fro. But I know that was around the time when he started to really start, balling hard and started to really choose to just wild out every game. Like, he never really was a soft guy. He was a competitive. He had a Mamba mentality, and he was just driven. And I think that's what we love about him, and that's what we loved about him, and that's what we respected him for most. Outside of the championships, the 5 rings, and the 20 seasons, he just had a heart like no other. I feel like he was the closest thing to MJ that we had. He was the closest thing to Michael Jordan that we ever will witness. And LeBron is amazing, but there's just something that Kobe and Michael had that LeBron just doesn't have, and not to discredit, LeBron James obviously, but there's just something that, Kobe had, man. It was something about him. It was his energy, it was ecstatic every night. He just played his heart out, and to score 60 points on your last game, that's crazy. That's unheard of. Nobody could do that. Nobody does that, man. That's one of a kind. That's unique stuff. Right now we on the stage where I'm just kind of doing the lettering. Like, as you can see, I had to speed this one up a little more because this actually took me about an hour and 50 minutes to complete the whole thing, but I had to compress it down just so you guys could be able to watch this right now on IGTV and YouTube as well. So right now I'm doing a basketball that he was pressed up against on the wall. I think it'll be sick to actually use this for a graphic too. Right now I'm doing a 005. I put it up to the camera. I don't know if you saw it long enough, but this is a 005 micron marker. I did it differently than I did the 3 previous episodes. I just used like a graphic or like a paint marker that had just like a brush tip to it, and it kind of just filled in everything without having to switch the diameters of the ends, the tips of the markers. But this one I kind of wanted to be really fine and really thin, so I use 005 to outline mainly everything, to be honest. And honestly, just to get the hairs, this is perfect for getting like hair follicles and detailing the eyes, and you want to get like wrinkles on the eyelids or even in the ears, you know what I mean? So this is what I used when I first started using Copics. Microns are so important, they're so vital. You see right now I'm just outlining more. I'm using the same one, and now I'm switching to 01 because it's probably like, I would say 1 or 2 steps up from 005. It's just as thin, but it's a little bit thicker, just so you can get more definition, and it's a little bit more bold and a little bit more thick, so you can be able to you won't have to potentially break the tip of the marker because it's kind of fragile because it's so skinny, so you want to kind of switch it up sometimes. You can do 005, 01, 03, 05, and I think they go to 08 too, if I'm not mistaken. So you just continue to fill in wherever there's wrinkles, wherever you see that there's wrinkles in the skin or there's creases and things of that nature. For the hair, I used this random brush that I found at Michael's. It was like $2. I don't recall the name of it. I might put it in the caption or the comments when I read it again. But you don't need to use that. You can honestly just use like a 08. You can even use a Sharpie if you really want to. It's really just about showing a little bit of texture of the hair. At this time, Kobe never had like braids or anything, but he always kept like a curly fro. You know what I mean? It was kind of like picked out. So you want to show the texture of that. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to show the texture of your character's hair. That's really what defines the face. Your hairstyle, your hairdo, and the texture. And those are one of the 7 elements of art too. Texture. You should look those up. It might help you. 7 elements of art. Right now I'm doing the basketball, just filling it in, of course, and also doing the same thing with this halo, one of my signatures that you all love and know me for, of course. And now we're moving on to the stage of coloring it in. Obviously, we start with the 0. What is that? The 0. I think that's the E00. Yeah, that's what it is. Because that was a child marker, and I don't understand why they released those. But shout out to Copic marker. I mean, the more the merrier, to be honest. I'm not complaining. So this is E11 right now. Just starting to add more definition and shadows to the face, to Kobe's face. He was a little younger, so he was a little bit more skinnier, as you can see. A little bit more toned in his face and his arms and his neck as well. You just want to show the definition, and you want to use your light source. I'm telling you guys, never forget to use your light source. That's what defines your image. It makes it pop off of the page. It makes it like 3-dimensional, and it gives it really great values. So the key is to look at your image 5 seconds, the 5-second rule. So you want to swivel your eyes, or you could move your head back and forth at a pivot, but just make sure you are focused more on the reference than your actual drawing, because you need to look at the reference, because that's what you're actually reimagining. You don't want to look at your picture so much on your paper, your drawing so much, because even if you're confident in your artwork, like how I am, I still need to make sure I'm getting the right values, the muscles, like there's veins. I don't know if I caught it, but at the very bottom, there's different veins and stuff like that that's on his wrist. You just can't really see it, So make sure you get those values and get those shadows, get the lighting. This is E18 right here, and this is like the darkest one that they give you in their skin tone pack, which will run you about $47 on Amazon or Michael's or Jerry's or even Hobby Lobby, wherever you go and get your art supplies. You know what I mean? So you can see how defining it is now. It's more muscles. You can see how everything is coming together now. And you can always go back with a lighter brown like the E11, and you could blend it back if you don't have that zero marker. There's like a marker it's like zero. It looks like a mystery marker, but it's actually a blender. If you can find that, you could use that as well. Or you could just use the lighter color, like one shade up from the darker one, and you could just blend it in between colors. I do that all the time. You know what I mean? So right now, I'm moving on to coloring the rest of the image. As you can see, I took care of the skin already. I haven't colored the eyes just yet because I just wanted to save that for last. So I'm using Y. That's the yellow. It's really bright. It's pretty like vibrant. It's more like lemon head yellow. It's really bright. You know, and then I mean, they say yellow is purple and gold, but there are times that some of the jerseys look like yellow, not just like golden. You know what I mean? But I do have a gold marker and I have a yellow marker. I started with the yellow one because I figured I could use the gold one. It's like an orange gold tint to it. I could use that for the shadows. You know what I mean? So I'm filling in the purple streaks on the jersey. And now I'm going in and adding the shadows with that gold orange tint marker like I was speaking about a few minutes ago. You see how it just defines it, it makes it pop, it's like a contrast. You always want to get contrast. Whether you're doing graphics, paintings, it doesn't really matter. These things are what make your eyes love an image. You know, you want to make something pop. You want to make it jump off the page. You know what I'm saying? That's the key to art. The key to art is hues, values, colors, texture, shadows, lighting, everything, anything you could possibly use to make something come to life. Do it and don't hold back. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid to express yourself in your highest form. Don't be afraid to use different colors that you don't normally use. Don't be afraid to, color outside the lines. There's no rules to art. It's your world. You know what I mean? Just don't be out here tracing. That's the number one. That's the number one disrespectful thing to do. Because there's people like myself that's really out here drawing, from scratch, working really hard. Don't be tracing. For your own good. You want to get better. Look, being an artist it's a lifestyle, but it's just a daily thing. It's you take it one day at a time. I'm nowhere near where I'm gonna be as an artist. I've done a lot at a young age for the culture, in my opinion. But it's so much more to do, and I'm just getting started. I don't even know exactly what I'm doing. It's just all trial and error. It's just trial and error. It's learning. I'm keeping my faith in God, and He's continuing to lead me. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. So I'm just adding some shine now, and I want to say rest in peace to the GOAT, man. Y'all, thanks for watching. Subscribe, please. All right, love.